Hi everyone, welcome back again to Birds, Passion and Reality. My name is Besem Health. Today we are going to be having another session of our reality talk show, and we are going to continue with the 15 lessons I've learned in my 15, 16 years of marriage. Anyway, whichever one you want to take, between 15 and 16 because I'm already past 15, so I'm in the 16 year. So yes, like I said in the first video that my marriage is the only certificate that you get without even passing the exam. You are being given that certificate. When the both parties goes and um, sign and take their vows. Yes, I do. And you are being given the certificate, be it a church wedding, a church wedding, being a civil wedding, being a traditional wedding. Of course, in traditional wedding they give certificate also. It's not written certificate. The moment your parents or your mother and your father says, okay, we our daughter has accepted to get married to you, they give you away to that man. You pay your diary. You have already paid for the wife, so that's a certificate they have given you. So in traditional marriage there's also a certificate. Before we started westernizing things, our parents in those days were just doing with the traditional wedding or traditional marriage, and that was it. So like I would say, marriage is the only certificate you get, and then you go into the classroom and start learning for the exam. You learn until you pass the exam. So like I would say that I was on the fifth, was it the fifth or the sixth lesson I've learned in my 15 years of marriage is that remember that you are on the same team with your partner. Yes, you have to remember that you're on the same team with your partner, because if you are not on the same team with your partner, you are not going to win. It's just like a football match, or it's just like a game you guys are playing, let me say a football match. And if you are playing and you think you can play alone, you can't score the goal alone. You can't start from the defense to the midfield to whatever, and then you go alone and score the goal. You need the other partner to support you. So that is how I see marriage, and that is what I've learned in marriage, that my my partner, my husband, and myself, we are on the same team. And every other third person is is not interested to us. Like I will put it that way. It's not, we don't allow third parties into our relationship. Myself, I don't allow a third party into our relationship. If I have an issue with my husband, I called him, and I talk it out with him. And if it's that I should ask for forgiveness, I ask for forgiveness. If it's that he should ask for forgiveness, he'll ask for forgiveness. So one of the things I've learned in marriage is that both both partners are on the same thing. We are on the same team. If you have this of the back of your mind, then you are going to have a successful marriage. It's true, I'm not refusing the fact that there are people that are so difficult, or there are people that have entered into marriages that are not working, or that are how do I put it, that are abuse marriages. But then those are exceptional cases. In every situation, there are exceptional cases. So that is the point I just wanted to say. And another point I would like to make here, one of the points again I learned in my marriage, and that is the seventh point of my 15 points, is that advance forgiveness. I forgive my husband always. Yes. And he too forgives me always. You know, I don't need to, there are times that things happen, and before I even ask him that why did you do this, or why did you decide like this, I've already forgiven him. you know, I forgive him before him giving me the explanation. So I don't take it to the next level to start complaining and start doing things. If I forgive him before, I won't even think of carrying that in my head and thinking so much about it. I'll go to guys an example, like any other woman, any other couple. Your prayers is that you should buy a house, you should have a house, you should, you should have properties. And like I say, I'm not materialistic. I'll tell you guys, I'm not that type that is materialistic. So there is a decision my husband took without my information. He didn't inform me. He just took the decision. And when I heard of it, there was this house that they were selling, and the landlady had to ask him if he's interested, and he said no, he's not interested in buying the house. And that was it. And that was it. So when I was told about it, and I got so pissed off, and I asked, or when he told me that the landlady have asked him if he's interested in buying that house, and he said no, I was like, oh my God, what what were you thinking when you said no? He said no. We discussed this earlier, and we already had a discussion on this, and you know my thoughts of having a house. And I was like, okay. There was nothing I could say again. Um, uh, there was nothing I could say again because I already knew his thoughts about it. So it was relatively cheap. The house was relatively cheap, but he has already made up his mind that he doesn't want the house. So I could not force him. I couldn't do anything. So I just have to accept it. And forgiveness is something that you do every day, not only with your husband, not only with your spouse, but then with the people beside you, or with the people that you come in contact with, or with the people, with your children. When you forgive, you have a very clear mind. I'm that type of person that when you do me something, I'll just like, if I get angry, I might get angry for maybe 2 3 hours, and when I cry over it, that is all about it. If I cry, I just say ash, that one don't pass, it's gone. I don't think about it again. So that type of person that doesn't keep things in my heart. And one, that is what I've learned in my marriage, that you have to forgive as much as possible as you can. Forgiveness is the only thing that can give you happiness. You forgiving your husband doesn't mean you are a weakling, doesn't mean you are not strong, doesn't mean you can't stand and fight him, or you can't stand against him. But you forgiving um, um, uh, your husband is because you want peace to reign. You want to have inner peace by your own self. You forgiven first. You are forgiving your own self first. And when you forgive your own self first, it means you are already having inner peace. So at times when there is a situation, like I say, every marriage is having a problem. Every marriage, there's no marriage that is perfect, but we try to turn the imperfectness to perfectness, the imperfectness to perfectness. Is that the right English? So we try to turn the things that are not perfect to be perfect. So, and when you forgive, you first of all forgive to have peace with yourself. When I forgive somebody, I move on. That's just me. It's just like you reading a book. I reading a book, and when I turn the next page, what I've read is what I've read. I don't go back there to read it. So that's just how I live my life. And forgiveness is something that anybody that is beside me knows it. You annoyed me, I will forgive you, and I will go away, and that's just it. I forgive it, and then it's gone, and life move on. To be happy, you have to forgive. To live a healthy life, you have to forgive. Yes, that's the thing. One of the things I've learned in my 15 years of marriage. And the other thing that I've learned that is very, I put it to be very important also, don't compare your marriage to some other marriage. No, 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 no. Comparison is not part of me. In all my relationship that I've never been that type that compares. I don't compare. I'm that type of person that is satisfied. I'm very satisfied with what I have. I don't care what other people have. I admire them, but I don't care. I don't feel like having it. It's not like where high no be this and me I get at me. No. And I'm that type of person that is not materialistic. If you think you can bring your material things to move me, then you are just like you are kidding. Friends who know me, my exes who know me, they know about it. They know I'm that type of person that I'm not materialistic. So I don't care what you have, and so that's the reason I don't compare. I never compare my husband to a next person. I don't like, don't you see these people are doing this? He has friends that are married to African women that have houses. They bought their houses. I've never wanted said, why don't you see that these people are having a house, and why no, no, no? That's what I don't do. Comparison is one of that thing that I've learned in my marriage. And when somebody, if anybody that comes beside me and wants to like compare himself or herself with me, that is what I won't take. Because I will tell you guys a story. There's one friend I had. She was like a junior sister to me, so close to me. And she was not married, but she had a friend, a fiance. They were living together. Every time she comes to me and she's like, "Where is your husband?" I would say, "My husband has gone to work." Because my husband used to work his normal work and then goes to his to his how to call it, mini job, to a 400 euro job where he used to go and do it too. So he's that type of person that works a lot. So, and this little girl was like, "Oh my God, I just hope that my own husband or my friend will be like this person, will be like you, like your husband." And I was like, "Come on, little girl, you don't have to compare your husband or your boyfriend with my husband. You know, he's a German, he's a giant, he can walk, he can do so many things. You don't have to compare him, your husband, with my husband. Those are things I don't like." And like at one time I remember she told me her mom was like, "Why can't you be like you are like Mommy B?" That they used to call me Mommy B, though they call me Mommy B, most people. "Why can't you be like your Mommy B?" I was like, "You know what? Tell your mom that Mommy B, like they're sitting here. I'm a woman, but I'm three men in one woman. As you see me sit, what I can do, you cannot do. So tell your mom to stop comparing you to me. I'm that type of person that if I want to do something, I will do it. I'm that type of person that doesn't depend on a man. I'm that type of a person that your millions doesn't move me. So tell your mom not to be comparing to me. I'm that type of person that if I have just my two rope slippers, if I have just my one trouser, I'll wear that trouser from Monday to January, from January to December, from Monday to Friday, and not get problem with them. I don't have any problem with it. I wear it to work, come back. If it means I should wash it, I wash it. And I'm not that type of person that is materialistic. So, and I not being materialistic, I don't compare. And what made me not to be that's so much materialist, or not to be materialistic at all. This I learned it from my dad. There is this quotation in the Baha'i writings that always say, "What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose the 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 love of his own soul and lose his own soul?" And my dad always said this. He always, most of you who knows me knows my dad. My dad always said this because he was how do I put it, a political figure. Although he was saying it's not politics he's doing, he was a freedom fighter. And whenever they came to give him bribe, when people comes to bribe him or to give him money and tell him things, he will say, "We are like annoyed that daddy, why you're not taking it?" But he'll say, "What am I going to gain if I take this money and I eat it today and then I'm not happy with what I'm doing?" So those are the things. And that is one of the things I learned from my dad, that you have to be contented with what you have. You have to be contented with what you have. If you have just one shoe that is yours, be contented with it. So one of the lessons I've learned in my marriage, but then this one I didn't learn in my marriage because it's in me. I have it in me. I don't compare. I don't look at somebody's things. I don't. My exes, they know about it, so I don't even. If you have your money, it's your money. If you care to give me, you give me. I'm that type of person that can work for myself. I can work Monday to Sunday without without giving up if I want something. So yes, I don't compare. Comparison is not also good in marriage. I'm just like giving an advice to those who are sorry, those who have not married and those who are intending to get married. You going into your marriage, be contented with what you have. Work for your own. Don't look at somebody's other another person's marriage and like compare your marriage to this. And that is one of the things that is killing most of our young women today, or our young couples today, because they always compare. It's either the man is comparing the woman to the husband, or the husband is comparing the the, the wife to a friend's wife, and those are the things. So I don't compare. That was the number 8 of our 15 lessons I've learned in my 16 years of marriage. Another thing I learned in this marriage is that you have to understand each other. Understand the person you are living with. Yes. I'll tell you guys, when I got married to my husband, like I said in the first video, we had no courtship. We had no Kennen Lennon. We had no, we didn't do fulu. We just spoke on the phone, and God just connect us together like that. And at that time, I was in a hard relationship. I was in a relationship that was really, really tough. It's not like I was having hard time with a guy I was dating. Yes, of course, I was having hard time. I had left him, and I was in Boya. He was in Douala. He used to come and visit me. So when I get in contact with my husband, did I not say that was before a different day or a different video? Yes, it's just that I want to clear out something. Yes. So when I got married to my husband, the first years were like so difficult, so difficult, because somebody you didn't know. We had to start from the beginning. At times when we talk about it, we laugh over it, and he'll be like, yeah, we got married before learning. We do it the other way. Other people do it the other way. They date, they go into courtship, they do all the things, then they get married, and 3-4 years later, divorce. They are like trapped out. But we came together, study ourselves together before we got married. Sorry, we got married before learning ourselves. So it has been a difficult 15 years. Yes, it has been this 15 years of learning every day, like I would say. Yes, it has been a 15 years of so many experiences. You getting married to, it's not like getting married to an African, or getting married to your tribes person, or getting married to somebody that you are from the same country. Getting married to a foreigner for that matter, a white man you don't know. That was my first white person I ever met, and is my husband. Yeah. So, and he's now my best friend. I put it that way. He's my best friend because in that year, the first 2 years was like difficult years for us, because he has to know what I love. I have to know what he likes and dislike. And it was like we had these up and downs, and we were always like, today we'll quarrel, tomorrow we'll be friends. Today we'll quarrel, tomorrow we'll be friends. So the first about putting the first 2, 3, 4 years was like difficult for us, but we break through it. Like in the Germans, they always say after the first, I think it's the first 7 years of marriage, normally they call the 7th year of marriage the year of divorce, because most of the times people they are like, I'm tired of this relationship, come on, I'm tired of it. After 7 years, or within the 7 years, they're like, oh. But if you cross that 7th year, then it's like, wow, you have made it. Then you are going to stay forever. But not all. Like I say, there are always exceptional cases. There are friends when I came here, and they too were married to German citizens, or to German citizens. Most of them have divorced. Most of them are no more with their husbands. So best known to them, I can't tell you that is their decision, and I can't stop it. So one of the things I learned in my 15 years of marriage was that you have to understand the person you are with. He has to be your best friend. Like I say, my husband is my best friend, is my gossip partner. It's my gossip partner, is my how do I put it? Is my consultant. Anything I have to consult with him first before I go out to ask for a third person's opinion. I always ask his opinion first before. Is it true? He's shaking his head. I always ask I always ask his opinion first before asking a third person's opinion. So you have to understand the person you are into, you are dating, or you are in a relationship with. Understanding your partner is one of the best things. Like I would say, we as a family, we don't joke with our, I'll put it this way, weekend breakfast. Breakfast is the only moment. During our breakfast moment is a moment where we share our daily activities for the past day, for the previous day, because most of the time we go to work. During the week we are all busy, and weekends is the only time that we sit together in the morning, mostly because after on Saturdays, most of the times the kids, they have football, they have games that they have to go. So in the morning we sit on the breakfast table, and there we share our, how the week has been, what happened, how was it in school, how was it with work, what did you have with your colleagues, how did it go, so we create fun. People who know us and are close to us, they're like, how do you cope with this German man? How do you cope with him? Because my husband is that type of a difficult person. But then when you come to understand the person with whom you are to live the rest of your life with, yes, the rest of your life, because when you were taking your vows, when I was taking my vows, I said, till God do us part. Yeah. So you realize that the person, you understand, if you understand the person very well, sorry, if you understand the person very well, the person you are in a relationship with, I don't think there will be any problem. Yes, that is one of the things I've learned in my 15 years of 16 years of marriage. Why is she singing that 16 years like that? Of course, it is 16 years. Another thing I've learned in my 16 years of marriage is that you have to spend time with your partner. Very, very important. Very, very, very important. During our first 2 years before I got my first son, you know, he goes to work. When I came, I was not like speaking the German language. I was not working. So when he's going to work, he takes me along. At times he goes to night shift. I will go with him, sit in their how do they call it, in their reception room, and he will work until he closes in the morning. He will fix a place for me there to sleep. I will sleep there, and then when he closes, we'll come back home together. Spending time with a person you are married to is very, very important. You have to spend time. I mean time. When I talk of time, I don't mean that moment where you are there, then the third person is there. That intimate time, it must not only be when you guys are going to bed. No, no, no. Or when you guys are about to have intimacy, or when you guys are about to have sex. No. Go out for a date with your husband. Go out for lunch with him. Go out for ice cream, for an ice cream day. Just create time, and create time for the person that is your husband. And then you will realize that marriage is so, so sweet. So, so sweet. At times there are my friends that will call, or a friend will call me and will like, oh, can we hang out today? Just tell her no, or him no. I'm sorry, today I have a date. With who then? I say, with my husband. They'll laugh. They'll say, you and I are massa. I'm a massa. It's my husband who, me and my massa will get a date. So we are going out. So you have to spend time and ask questions. That moment where just the two of you sitting in a restaurant and having meal, at that moment, so many ideas come up to your head, and you have to talk to him. You have to ask him, how was this? How was your day? What happened at work? I've not been, you have not been so happy, things like that. So yes, that is one of the things I've learned in my 15 years of marriage. I think that's the 10th of the 15 things I've learned in my 15 years of marriage. So guys, I'm just going to end here today, and the next 15 is going to come in our part 3. Don't miss the part 3 because it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Those are the most important things I've learned in my marriage, that if you get to know them, it's going to help you. I mean, you that is planning to get married. Yes, you that is planning to get married, or you that is not yet married and wish to get married. Use this, the last 5 points I'm going to say, and you are going to have a very, I mean, a very happy, prosperous, and lovely marriage. Yes. So guys, before I leave, I would just like to plead with you guys. Don't forget to do, or don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to drop your comments down there. Any question you want, just ask me. I'm married to a Westerner, I'm married to a German. If you ask me any question, I'll be open to you. I will tell you how the Germans they behave, the German men. The German man picking